Welcome back to iSelf Law and Master. We're now on to lesson 4. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the Uniform Commercial Codes and the filing our non-UCC filing statement. Now, this is important because the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Codes, governs all commercial transactions within the United States. That's everything. That includes everything that's moving and selling. Any goods, property, vessels, people, courts, securities, jails, courthouses. I think I said that already, but I'm just giving you an overview of basically everything. Okay, so it's really important. It's really important that we get in on this private side and that we register all of our property. So just like I was referring to securing the bag, securing your trust last episode, this is kind of a continuation over when I gave you the metaphor about the mechanic and applying the lien for, the fact that he didn't get paid. So what we're going to do today is we're going to apply a $100 million lien. That's basically going to secure all of our property so that no one they have to trump that lien in order to get to you or to get to your property. Okay, and the Secretary of your state is going to sign off on it and say that this is legit. So before we get into going over our financing statement and what we're going to have in it, I want to give you a reference to Cornell Law School. Now, Cornell Law School has the whole UCC breakdown. Please go study this, look this up, because this literally has everything to do with what you do in commerce today anyway. You feel like, oh, this doesn't apply to me? Yes, it does. If you have a business or you do business or you buy things, you have a credit card, debit card, whatever transactions that you are doing, this applies to you. With that being said, always remember UCC 9, Article 9, 311, Section 311, and it's the perfection of security interest. And this section basically states that filing a regular UCC 1 financing statement is ineffective. It would have to be a non-UCC filing, and that's stated in Section 2 where it's talking about the birth certificate. So the birth certificate, just like we told you to get it authenticated in the first lesson, that's going to be something that you put in your UCC filing because that's what you are going to lien. That's where your power is coming from. Okay, and the 9311 talks about that. If you go to part 2, it tells you, list anything covering automobiles, trailers, et cetera, and we're going down, which provides for security interest to be indicated on a certificate of title as a condition or result of perfection. So it's talking about perfecting the birth certificate, which we already gave you the first steps to do. And it says, in any non-uniform commercial code central filing statute. Like I said, this particular filing, if you have filed a UCC in the past and a UCC 1 financing statement and it didn't work, it was because it was not a transmitting utility non-UCC filing. Okay, that is very important. In a lot of states, you can't even do that online. You will either have to fax it in or mail it in. Now, as far as I've heard so far, California, y'all in that thing. California allows you to do a transmitting utility non-UCC filing for $5 with attachments. So, like I said, if y'all know any state that does it, let me know. I want to say this also, that you must file a non-UCC transmitting utility filing in the state that you were born in and the state that you currently live in, the state that you are doing business in. I want to say this, that you are a vessel. You emit energy. You are a source of energy. Unfortunately, we're taught to give our energy away publicly. You have a domestic estate. Your spirit fuels the artificial construct, the artificial system. This is what makes you a transmitting utility. You are a being that transmutes energy. You output energy every day to society, to the system. And like I said, you do not control your estate. You do not control whatever that you create. A lot of us don't. The UCC helps with that. The UCC helps us control all of what we own, all of what we acquire, all of what we create. If you have deeds, if you have titles, if you have patents, any of those things you would register with the UCC. Using the UCCs, it's registered, so no one can come and take it from you. No one can come and regulate it. If you have a foreign trust, which I had you guys create the last lesson, no one has jurisdiction to come and meddle with your foreign trust. Okay, so this is why we're doing this. This is just securing all of what we have created on paper through their system, and people will be like, oh, why we got to go through their system? I mean, you going through their system now, using those terms, you know, you're utilizing the public side now. You know, what we're trying to do is get you to the private side. So you do have to speak to these different departments of state. It is always proper to let people know what you're doing on the public end. So what you do privately, you must let them know publicly. Okay, and this is just us doing that, putting them on public notice. Just like in lesson 1, when I was discussing with you guys, Rule 220 birth certificates, where it talked about the age of maturity. So really at 18 is when we're supposed to go and file, you know, certain papers to get our affairs in order, you know, take charge back of our estate. Okay, so the UCC is where we utilize registering anything that we own. So in the future, whether any type of deeds, like I said, patents, anything that you create, you always register them through the UCC3 with your original financing statement. Okay, and that's how you keep charge of your trust, you know, putting things in your trust, securing things in your trust. And with that being said, we're going to get right into the financing statement. Up on your screen now, we have the UCC statement, financing statement. You can find it online, print it out, or, you know, fill it out, then print it out. Box 1, we have a name, email, contact, send acknowledgement to. You can put a name, care of, address, simple. And in box C is what I did with mine. Line 1, the debtor's name. There's a couple of boxes we want to put our information in 1B, box 1B, where it says the individual surname. That'll be your last name, the last name that is on your birth certificate. Okay, all caps. First name will be your first name on your birth certificate. Additional name, that'll be your middle name. So your full name that you were born with goes on that line. Okay, the second line, not the organization's line, but the second line. The mailing address would be the hospital that you were born at. Okay, that's the hospital's mailing information. And then we drop down to line 3. Don't put anything on line 2. Box 2. Box 3 is the secured party name. Okay, so your secured party is basically the entity that takes control over all of what the debtor has acquired, pretty much. They have full control. So that's what this statement is saying. This is the conversation of the UCC statement. The mailing address, use a mailing address where you can receive mail. Box 4 is the collateral section. So we have a nice little prompt, you know, that we have for you. You can edit it, tweak it, you know, any way that you want to. But just the main course of the information, I'm gonna, you know, kind of give you guys, and you can, you know, customize it how you want to. Okay, now box 3, where it talks about the secured party name. The secured party can be anybody. It could be a trust, it could be an organization, it could be a person, it could be any entity that you want to control your estate privately. Okay, this entity, person, being, organization, trust, whatever, has to have a foreign identification number. So just how I taught you guys in lesson 3 how to get one of those, you can repeat that method to acquire as many as you want to. Okay, and the secure party has to be one of those. So me personally, I have a foreign trust, and I listed my foreign trust name on line 3, you know, under the individual surname, first name, and additional name. If you have a family trust that you would like to, you know, secure all of your property and belongings under, you will list that on line 3A under organization's name. Okay, so it's really up to you. You have an appellation and you've created a EIN with that appellation, then list that on line 3B. But like I said, it's all up to you, you know, and how you are setting up your your particular affairs. Okay, so that's the secure party part. Anyone that you want to give the power to, you list there. Line 4, we go into the collateral section. So we have a nice little prompt for you that you can utilize. You can tweak it, you know, change it any way you want to. Any of our templates, you know, you don't have to take them word for word. Like I get a lot of questions, people like, oh, can I change this part or take this? Look, do what you want to do. Customize it to your liking. Okay, I customize it to my liking, dealing with my particular, you know, affairs and my family. You know, what was best for us. So do what's best for you. With that being said, the collateral section is just the registering your title of assets, pretty much. So anything that you own that is an asset, we're going to put in here. We have some nice little templates for you. I'm going to go through all of them. I'm not going to read through all of them specifically because reading is fun and we can all do that. So, but I'm basically going to give you like an overall synopsis of what's going on the paperwork. Okay, so the first part of the collateral section we're talking about the birth certificate, because that's what we're leaning, that's where our power is coming from, that's what we're taking control of. We're listing that, we're listing the filing number. If you did put it on public filing, you will list that number and put it in there. Secured party, we talk about that. Now you can have multiple secured parties, you can have multiple heirs, you can have multiple successors. All of those entities or people or beings will be listed in this section. Okay, so I just want to let you guys know that the security agreement and the POA. So those are the first documents that we're going to get into. A power of attorney, I did have you guys do that in lesson 1. So you're going to put your power of attorney in your UCC, non-UCC filing. Okay, so the POA is going to go in here. That's basically you just relinquishing your powers of the straw man to a responsible, non-belligerent, non-adverse, non-combative party. Which is the secured party. So whomever you listed as the secured party on your POA, I would suggest that you list them in the UCC filing as well. Okay, and so the POA I've already went through, so you guys should already have that. I also mentioned that I was going to go over the security agreement. So yeah, the security agreement is a agreement between the debtor and the secured party. This is a very important document. Okay, very important document, and this document sets up the lien. So this document, most of the information, it's you just fill in the blanks. Like I said, you can change things if you want to. This is basically, like I said, the debtor is listed. You will list the debtor. You will list the hospital where you were born at, where the debtor was created. And this is just the papers. You know, we're not actually talking about the person. We already mentioned that the debtor is an artificial entity. The address will be the address of your hospital on the security agreement. And then on the right side, it talks about the creditor / the secured party. That'll be your appellation of whomever you listed as a secured party, a address that you can receive mail at, non-domestic. And you will put in your exemption, your federal employer identification number will be your 98. That's your foreign EIN number that you acquired. Your exemption identification number is your social. Okay, so I do want to let you guys know that your social also go, and that's the non-dashes. Your social also goes on the left side of the page where it asks for the social security number, and you could put the dashes. Okay, under the debtor's part. So I'm gonna just go through this real quickly. I'm already jumping right into it. You will list the day, the year, the month and the year, and make sure you list the secured party. You're gonna list the secured party multiple times and the debtor multiple times. You list the you list the social security again. You will list that federal identification number again. Jumping down to the collateral list. Now the collateral list, I do want to point something out to you. In the first sentence where it says all accounts bonded, promissories, notes numbered, and then you have whatever you want to list these as, whatever the title you want to be. So mine in particular is BDP. It starts at 1,000. It goes from 1,000 to 20,000. That's basically, I'm already registering future promissory notes. So this is setting yourself up to file, to discharge things in the future if that's what you choose to do. Okay, and you can, basically you're registering notes from the numbers 1,000 to 20,000. Okay, and then we also, we're registering our bill of exchanges also from 1,000 to 20,000. Okay, that's all on through the collateral list. Now the collateral list, you want to list your birth certificates, you want to list the social security, you want to list anything that you own. So if you have a car, you will put your car's make and model, you will put the license plate number, you will put the VIN number, the vehicle identification number. And like I said, the UCC governs numbers. Everything in commerce has numbers. People have numbers. Property has, the cars have numbers. You know, you will list all of that in this section, in this security agreement. Okay, you will list a home. If you have a home, you will list that. I mean, it has a thick list of things that you will put in here. Bank accounts, if you have those, list those in here. Anything that you own, make sure you put it in here. Okay, and then we talk about the bond section. Like I said, you're putting your name, your all caps name in the listing the secure party again. Here we're talking about the lien that we're issuing, which I said you're issuing a $100 million lien. No one is gonna trump that, meaning that they have to pay that back before they can take your property, before they can get to you. Okay, so this is what the security agreement is talking about. If it goes into default, it lets you know failure to default, what's going to happen. Sign it, date it, get it notarized, file it on your UCC1. Pretty much. I mean, yes, file it on your UCC1. So that's the security agreement. We have a couple of more to go. But all of these documents are important alike. I also wanted to mention too, HJR 192, get a copy of that. They have certified copies available for you online. I can give you the link. And that's pretty much it's stating that we have to discharge all obligations dollar for dollar. Okay, making it illegal to pay for anything. You know, so this is, like I said, the HJR is setting up your account to be able to do that in the future. Please read through that. That'll help you with creditors, okay, that you're dealing with now. If any of us is fighting with creditors, the HJR would definitely aid you in that. Okay, next we have the DBA, registering your name. I would suggest that everyone does that. Register your name, your all caps name, DBA it. I will also suggest copywriting, which I'm going to get to. You would definitely want to put your copyright, which I guess I'll just get into that now before I get into the birth certificate. So copywriting, we have a couple of templates that you can do to common law copyright your name, but yet again, being in the status that we're in, copyright your name, I think it's about, it ranges in prices, how much it costs. But if you don't have the money now, utilize the templates that we have. We also have a copyrightdeposit.com. It's a website that you can go to. It's real cheap, $15. You know, you can copyright your name online. I would suggest doing that. It's real affordable. And also utilizing our templates and posting them publicly. You know, that's a way to copyright your name and your children's name. So for the people who have children, all of the steps that, you know, you have done, please do for your children. So if you have if they have a birth certificate, you want to get their birth certificates authenticated. Now, your affidavit will be a little different as far as the language is concerned. You know, that you are kind of taking hold of their property until they reach the age of majority of 18, stated in Rule 220 of the birth certificates. Okay, so that would kind of be the language that you put in that particular template. But you want to do what you do for you, do for your babies. Okay, so when you copyright your name, like I said, copyrightdeposit.com is a real good site to go to. Real easy, 5 minutes, you can copyright your name and your baby's name. We also have templates for you, and you should, when you do get your credit right, definitely go in and copyright your name. Okay, and moving forward, the birth certificate, you want to put that in here. You want to also list put a copy of your authenticated birth certificate with the affidavit of ownership attached to it. Okay, next we have the hold and harmless indemnity agreement. This isn't an agreement between the Baylor and Bailey, which is the debtor and the secured party. Basically states that, you know, I am not the straw man, or I'm not the all caps name. I'm not held liable for anything that happens. You know, for anything that the straw man does, I am not personally held liable. It is the secured parties. It is an entity. You put someone else in front of you, the real person. So we're securing ourselves through the whole harmless and indemnity agreement. Don't have nothing to do with that. Basically, that's what that says. States, excuse me. We have minutes of initial trustee meeting, and this is basically any business that you have to have a minutes. Just like we're here now recording, we're creating a minute. Okay, the minutes of initial trustee meeting is just the day that it's talking about the day that your trust was set up. It's nunc pro tunc, doing something after the fact, being able to come back and take control of it. So that's what this is. It's talking about, you know, your mother is listed in this because she gave you away, you know, unknowingly. So that's what this is. It's basically just the setup of your trust and you just coming back, taking control of it, and listing the people involved and the dates. Okay, the notice of rescission of signatures. This is just basically saying that you are not a 14th Amendment citizen. And you list your secured party and you list the debtor, and it's basically saying that, you know, you do acknowledge that the debtor is not a real person. Okay, that it is a artificial entity, a public artificial entity, and it also talks about accepting it for value. All of the state documents that you have, I guess, signifying you or describing you. We're now down to the last document, and this is our Schedule A. Now, the Schedule A is just reiterating what we've already been saying about the fact that we're not an artificial person, we're not a, you know, chattel slave, we're not a 14th Amendment citizen. This is going to be listing all of your property. You're going to be listing yet again your birth certificate, those numbers that go on here, your social security numbers that go on here, your driver's license, any type of identification number that you have listed in your Schedule A. Also, if you have children and they have identification numbers, list those as well. So anytime that you list your birth certificate and you have babies, you want to list their birth certificate numbers as well. You would list the UCC file number. You may not have that yet. That's okay. Just leave that blank. Later you can go back and fill this in because this is your personal document as well. This document you want to keep for your personal records. They will block out sensitive information, so they're not going to file your social security number and put the whole number. They're going to put a big black block there when they do file this, so to keep you to keep your records safe. Okay. It talks about the indemnity bond. The indemnity bond is also included in your Schedule A, and this is just applying the lien yet again in the $100 million lien that we spoke about. It also talks about the fee schedule. We have a fee schedule attached to our Schedule A. So it's just like when you have a private estate and you have the signs that says private property keep out, and you go in it anyway and you infringe on those people's property, you can be fined. That's what we're doing. We're putting a lien on our estate, saying that this is private property now, you know, according to, you know, our UCC, our non-UCC filing in our private trust, securing everything in our private trust. And if you violate our bodies, you know, what your body is private now. You know, if you violate our bodies or any of our property, we can fine you. We can lien you. We can, you know, fine you. So this is the language of this document is very powerful. Also, your security agreement is saying this also. So the fee schedule is basically just saying, you know, this, if you do this, there's a fine for this. If you do that, there's a fine for that. Okay, it's giving them directions of what you can enforce because you are the law. You are the center of your universe. So this applies to anybody that infringes on your natural rights as a human being. I don't care who it is, what type of credentials that they have, what type of badges that they have. They can be fined. So please do remember this. Anybody that violates your natural human rights can be fined. That's anybody from, you know, certain organizations, you know, political people in, you know, high ranks, whatever it is, it does not matter. You have just as much worth and value as anybody else on the street. Doesn't matter how many certifications that they have, how many degrees that they have. You are as valuable as they are. You know, uphold yourself to that, protect yourself, you know, and we can do that through the UCC. Okay, that sums up our collateral section of box 4. Make sure that you put these behind your UCC financing statement paper. These are just the attachments that go along with it. Okay, make sure you file that behind there. We're going to go to box 5. This is important. The collateral is held in a trust. Okay, make sure you check that. Everything is held in a trust. It's the whole point of us setting this up is to put all of our belongings and all of our properties and things in a trust. Okay, box 6A, you're going to check a debtor is a transmitting utility. Remember, I went over what a transmitting utility was, and it is just your energy. You know, your energy is outputting into the community. It's just like when the Matrix movie, when they had the humans in those little pods and they were sucking all their energy out. It's what goes on today. Another good reference for you when dealing with the transmitting utility is UCC 9105. Go look that up. It talks about the transmitting utility. Means any person primarily engaged in the transmission of goods. Okay, so it's just you acquire things every day with your domestic estate. Okay, so you buy things every day, you sell things every day. Let's secure those with the secured party. Let's put them in a trust. Okay, moving along. Line 6B, you want to check non-UCC filing. This is very important. This is not something that they let you do online. They don't let you click both. They don't let you do transmitting utility and a non-UCC filing. We saw that in UCC 9311, it spoke about the non-UCC filing. Also reference 9312 as well. So you want to check box non-UCC filing. Box 7, you want to check Baylor. Okay, so that you can handle your own affairs. You can bail yourself out of things. Oops, that was a gem. Okay, and that's it. That's it on the UCC statement. Check those boxes. Like I said, file one in the state that you were born in. If you no longer live in the state that you were born in, file it in your current state, or file it in any state that you've acquired property in, so that you can secure all of your property securely. Okay, that was 2 words, but that you can secure all of your property, okay, through the UCC financing statement. So I hope that I gave you guys some good information, some good insight dealing with the Uniform Commercial Code. Please study. Cornell Law School is is a great reference, your best friend. Please study. Look up the UCC codes. And with that being said, we're done. We're wrapping up lesson 4. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember that the pen is always mightier than the sword, and we'll see you with lesson 5.